So in modern history we have had wars. These wars can have an example for them. The Korean War, the Iraq War, and more. But there is a country in Southeast Asia that has been famous for many years for its record low life expectancy and being for a while a communist state. It is Cambodia. Cambodia is a nice place. I have a friend who descends from Cambodia. And there is more to come. That is until you open up the history books. Cambodia in the 1960s was a kingdom. And also in the 60s was the Vietnam War. Cambodia declared neutrality during the Vietnam War. However, in 1965 this neutrality status would be broken when the war extended to the country, and as a result it joined the Allies in 1967. Eventually, since this is America we're talking about here. In 1970 Cambodia's government was overthrown and replaced with the Khmer Republic. However, since these people hated the Vietnam War in 1973, the United States withdrew from Vietnam. Cambodia, or you could say Khmer, around this time was still an ally but now felt alone, you could say. Eventually in 1975 the Khmer Republic was overthrown and replaced by the Khmer Rouge. This guy was in charge. And this guy had the worst reputation. For starters, he literally almost committed omnicide, a term relating to kill an entire human population. But in this case almost all of Cambodia. During the genocide, this is literally what Pol Pot wanted to kill, during which it declined the life expectancy in 1977. The life expectancy was just 18.91. This is the lowest life expectancy in human history recorded in a country. Around this time border skirmishes occurred between Cambodia and Vietnam. Since Pol Pot was kind of a racist if you look in his crimes. Eventually the Kampuchean forces went deeper into Vietnam. Eventually Vietnam finally realized what Pol Pot was doing for 4 years. And so on the 21st of December 1978, Vietnam declared war on Kampuchea. Vietnam was also supported by Laos, and together they pummeled the Kampuchean dictatorship. Eventually on the 8th of January 1979 the People's Republic of Kampuchea was established. This began Vietnam's 10-year occupation of Cambodia. And Thailand didn't like this. So they declared war. However, this will lead to another decade of a skirmish. China also didn't like the actions in Cambodia. And on the 17th of February 1979 they declared war and invaded. The Sink-Vietnamese War, as it's called, went good for China as they pushed into the north. However, the war became a disaster as Vietnam pushed back. Eventually it ended and both sides claimed themselves the victor. But I know who really won. By November Cambodia had fully been occupied, as the skirmishes began to increase. By this point this era gets boring from 1980 to 1989. Around 89 Cambodia finally got its chance, and became the state of Cambodia. Eventually Laos, which was previously under Vietnamese control, got its own control. Eventually in 1991 the Paris Peace Accords took place, and the war finished. Laos was under an insurgency that would last until 2007, and Cambodia became a kingdom once again in 1993. Today Southeast Asia is rather peaceful if you count Myanmar. And so that was the Third Indochina War.